And we are back, just in time to see a slivery little fish slip into the draft. Yes, that's right, we've returned for Game 3 between Double Dimension and Alliance. It could go either way. I'm excited. You excited, Kips?
Oh, yes. Like this Naga here. Alliance are still up to their old tricks, huh?
I don't know if this is a chord. I don't think they're going that old tricks, okay?
Like, maybe not like antique tricks, but this is still right from the get-go. Alright, we're gonna push your lanes again. And this is also a very strong laning support, obviously. So this is a bit of a block pick, actually. They just want to deny Alliance. And then, hello?
Interesting. I thought they were going to, like, usually in this scenario, we see the Mirana Bane, if you're going to, like, first pick Mirana. Like you said, it's a block pick against them already having the Naga. Elder Titan is a hero that I've been seeing very selectively. And, yep, you let it through. You didn't ban it out. You kind of brought it upon yourself. You want that Chen gone? This is the outcome.
Yep. Well, it's a choice you make. And I suppose they must have seen it. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Alliance waited with picking it to the second.
To be honest, what's the harm, right? Like, if Double Dimension pick it. Do Double Dimension... I don't think I've seen them play Lone Druid, actually.
I'm trying to think about if Druid, but it's not a Pikachu hero for sure. Doubting if Kuman would play. Like, I don't think he does. I would he did. So, yeah, basically no chance of them picking it up.
Well, there you go.
So, very safe there.
Like, where does the... What's next, right? Like, Double Dimension, I feel like they're going to want better setup for the Mirana. It's a decent hero regardless, but it's better to have a hero that can synchronize for that early mid-game for the max range arrows.
I feel like people, especially if it's going to be a core Mirana, people emphasize the setup. If you have a core Mirana, it's mostly about you being one of those mobile wave binges, and obviously about the ult as well.
True, like actually with this talent change as well, especially the ultimate. Especially, I think they've nerfed that 2-3 times now because it was so ridiculous when games went late.
And it's still really very good. So I think the setup is mostly about whether or not you want, and they can totally still go for that Bane right now if they want to have the setup, have the flexibility. And Bane Elder Titan is not a bad support duo either, so it can still go either way really. Pick up the Bane.
I think it's better if you think the Alliance might want a Bane because typically Elder Titan's a natural counter to it. But I think the big concern picking Bane might be the Lone Druid, right? Because if there's one hero that you're going to get frustrated by when you're Fiend scripting, anything channeling, it's just that Bear or Lone Druid running over and scaring you away. There it is.
They're going to do it anyway.
Like, screw it. Don't listen to us, Double Dimension, okay? you got this.
That's a bit of a chicken egg problem. If you gank him with 2, Bane is actually one of the few heroes that can both the bear and the hero disabled at the same time. So, goes either way.
We've reached that point with our analysis. You know, be and let be, okay? Live and let live.
Yeah. No, I really like this opening from Double Dimension from a, I can't call it an aesthetic standpoint, but you know how some, like, just 3 heroes together, you can go any direction with it. It covers a lot of your bases. It can wave clear. You have at least 1 core in there, but it's not sure which one yet. You have disable, team fight, you have some pick. Like, it does everything. I really like seeing a draft open.
It's got flexibility to it. Very clear flexibility. And
just
that's
from a...
I was gonna say that's kind of what a lot of teams focus on at the moment is this flexi picks. You can go anywhere. You can do anything with this. Is this a support? Is it core? Which lane is it going to be in? So many questions.
It's usually more important if you have a second pick, because you are going to get counterpicked pretty hard by the first pick team in the middle phase of the draft. So you're going to see that more second pick teams, and first pick teams can counterpick harder, so they have to, like, they don't have to flex pick as much.
We did see the Disruptor, which used to be I won't say king of supports. Like the first third of this year, I'd argue that Disruptor.
I blame Solo.
You blame Solo? I mean, there's many things you
Yeah.
blame. It was popular in China for like a year before that. It's like Chinese team was just going, no duh, we ban this and pick this all the time.
Well, Glimpse is one of the most powerful single spells in the game. It's on par with, well, things like Hook, to me. Pudge Hook. It's incredibly powerful as well. These spells that displace enemy heroes, and you have to watch your positioning so carefully when playing against Disruptor. Even though the hero himself is not extremely, you're playing a game with positioning now, and if a Disruptor outpositions you, you're just screwed. And of course, there's the classic combo with the Naga Siren. They have their bases covered pretty well as well. They deal more tower damage than Double Dimension still, definitely, and TD are just wave clearing with the Underlord, so they're looking to keep Alliance off their towers more than they're actually looking to push in return.
Okay, so Wind Ranger coming out, another hero that can potentially turn into a hard tower hitter later on with the focus fire. But I think the interesting part to mention about Double Dimensions draft is it's very, very focused around the Mirana right now. Like, it's heavily, in fact. Like, the Underlord is a hero that he saw his pick rate just diminish as we moved back to this, your offlaner should be enabling you across the map, looking for kills, doing things. Whereas Underlord, he farms, but that's kind of it. That's what he does. He exists.
Well, one of the things that I like about the Underlord Alliance is that this, and the Mirana obviously as well, but Double Dimension have noticed that if Alliance get a grip on the game, they can really outmaneuver them on a. And the Underlord is kind of a, I would call it like a meta answer to that, in the sense of that it's on a different layer. You're not answering the lineup of Alliance specifically, you're answering their underlying principle, which is to keep the lanes out and to outdo you on the map. So the Underlord can def a tower, teleport somewhere else. And they won the first game with the IO, which they haven't gotten again, obviously. Like, Alliance would be crazy to give that again. But they do, once again, have a way to deal with this superior maneuvering of Alliance, and I really...
It's more now, compared to last game, they have the reaction and, okay, this is a little bit different. You know, instead, they're putting most of the emphasis on Lone Druid to push. They've now got this bridging factor for Alliance. They can go for these kills, and this is great against the Underlord as well.
So how are they going to lane this? I suppose it's...
I assume it's going to be... Well, they could either have... They could run the...
Ursa?
You could. I've seen some teams do this, but you basically I'd be aware of the Underlord goes. I think like there's less emphasis on off-lane, safe lane since we're back to the 2-1-2. It's still important, but not as important as it was. It's not death sentence.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the players. So Boxy Ursa, I would still think like that should... Quakefa... No, wait, huh? I'm confused now.
Okay, so I'm going to assume... So Quakefa should be Lone Druid. That's kind of a given.
Yes.
Mickey to Ursa, and then I'm feeling like this might be... Boxy could be either Wind Ranger or Naga. Both of these heroes aren't terrible as offlaners. Although, it's going to be a rough lane regardless because of the Bane Mirana. As I've got a feeling they aren't going to stick Mirana mid this game. I think she's going to be the safe laner.
Yeah, like, you want the Ursa matchup against the Underlord?
Yeah, so you'll flex it. Like, it should be whoever TPs first has that typical disadvantage we see where they start playing TP, musical lanes, basically.
I really... I'd like to avoid that in the draft as much as possible. Like, ideally, you just want to make sure that you have at least one hero that matches both of their side laners. And then you're fine. And then they can switch all they want. You're going to have at least one lane.
It's kind of like that case, though. When you pick an Ursa, you're in this scenario, it's like, okay, I'm probably going to have to look for the lane that I want. You don't really have that flexibility. We saw how much Vega was suffering with it earlier today.
Oh.
And wow, the Phantom Assassin come. Okay, so this is a hero we're seeing very selectively. I think I've seen it a handful of times over the last 2 months. Most teams kind of scared to pick it up because it's either a powerhouse game winner or it just feels underwhelming as all hell.
Yeah, she matches up well against the Lone Druid as well. Classic counter picks, I would say. And then obviously she also does pretty well Ursa, so it's less clear of a winning situation there. Mickey on the Windrunner.
Okay, it's going to be...
Yeah, Boxy.
Yeah, Boxy Ursa. Which is fair. I think they were anticipating that there's going to be an Underlord in Double Dimension safe lane, and they're going to go aggressive with this Mirana, which is something we do see a lot of teams focus on, because Mirana has that flexibility to be aggressive in the offlane.
Yeah, and you really don't want to try lane again or around a Lone Druid usually. But yeah, so Disruptor Ursa on the offlane it's such a potent combo as well. If you get out of position, the Ursa can just wait in the place where you were 3 seconds ago, and you get right back into.
That's fair. And once they're on top of you, the Earthshock does so much damage, mainly because that slow it's pretty crippling. It scales incredibly well. I think it's got a 2-second downtime. I think it's what we typically see is Ursa's starting to prioritize leveling it more over the old builds, just because it gives you so much dominance in the lane.
It's always a choice between when do you want to peak, and it might just literally depend how your lane is going at that particular moment in time.
Right, well, we've got a draft, so we're underway. Alliance do smoke up instantly, probably looking to get out quickly, maybe put down a ward. They could even look to try and invade. It's kind of interesting because about a month and a half ago, I'd say, we typically always saw these teams try and go for the first blood before the runes. Now, teams have just kind of like gone, okay, I'd rather have 2 bounties. Just not risk it. But look at this. They're both drawing lines. So actually, Double Dimension, they're going to try and invade on the bot. They're going to dodge each other out perfectly here. Or will they?
Such a 50-50. Can either, you know, if they both dodge it the same way.
Pinger? Ping him out. They know he's here. Can they get across the question? The Earthshock will hit on them. This should be an easy clean for them in the end, as they'll have it available again. Pinger. It's a very slow kill. But the kinetic
none
go
of the
down.
other heroes want to, yeah.
There we go. They should be able to find him, but he's got a lot of movement speed. Instead of holding him in place, they should be able to finish him off. Now the power shot through, and the first blood goes to Mickey. Well, there's always going to be someone who suffered, you know. You get a little bit greedy.
I feel like Mickey was really keeping that point, not wanting to level it, but he was so tanky, they just weren't going to get the kill in time without him leveling. And he is moving towards the lane, actually.
Yeah, he's going to be in the off lane.
Fanscore has already established vision.
Get himself 2 runes. So 2 runes apiece, but the first blood to Alliance means it feels worthwhile for them. They did get down that ward in the top without being seen as well. Although,
yeah, it's important as well that King Art didn't get his ward down, so they're seeing him walk under the vision right now with this ward in his inventory, and they're going to keep track of when that disappears. So that Insignia... Oh, Insignia also still has a ward.
Yeah, he's been hogging his. He's been holding on to it. I mean, they just want to assert dominance here. It seems like their goal here is just to enable Ursa as much as possible. And then they're feeling like Quoitful will just get the space he typically does when we see him play Lone Druid games.
Cheshire Cat has actually dodged possibility of coming Nurse Lane to the mid. But again, that gives Quoitful a lot of space. And Double Dimension made this mistake in the second game where they gave Quoitful, you know, trade lane instead of pressure. And I'm wondering if they're not making that mistake again right now. Because he can really determine the tempo of it.
And this is kind of the conundrum as well. Every time you use Firestorm, you're just pushing the lane towards Quoitful. You're not really hurting him that much, to be honest. Meanwhile, top, King up, gets found out. Boxy will kill him off. Pikachu, he has got the leaps. He might be forced to use them. He hadn't actually leveled yet. Luckily, Vimy held on to it. And now, Earthshock comes out. Pikachu will be forced to use a second leap here. One more hit. There we go. He gets away. But that's a level 1 leap. That's a big commitment. And now the Glimpse coming out. They get rid of Bane. He's back in the bot lane.
Ouch.
This is just, it's a pretty horrible way to begin your lanes. The control's already there for Alliance, and that's concerning.
The only one who's farming well right now is Cheshire Cat. with the other cores falling behind, and that's really not like if there's one hero that is gonna get farm anyway, it would be the Underlord.
Yeah, it's kind of what he does. That's more or less like we were saying. He doesn't really aggress a lane. He doesn't really force people out. He just pushes and farms.
Yeah, so now he's hogging a pretty safe farm lane, just because he's dodging the Ursa, and he doesn't want to lose his. But this could have been a space for someone else to farm, and they're not using that right now. Instead, we have this Mirana getting harassed out of the top lane.
Once again, getting close to dying. And this lane gets more scary as it goes on, because obviously when you start leveling the Fury swipes, suddenly you can't just hold on to leaps. You can't just try and kite him out a little bit.
I mean, Glimpse is always going to number on you if you're in...
King R. Tiger got the Riptide off. Interrupted the salve usage, which means King R will probably have to go all the way back. I think the other interesting thing to say about this mid lane as well is that I'd say Underlord is much better in the outer lanes, just because once you get to like level 4 to level 5, typically what you see an Underlord do is he'll cut the creep wave, take it across to a camp, and he'll get double value with the Firestorm. You can't do that in the mid.
Yep. It's impossible to amplify your own farm like that as well. So, in my opinion, he needs to leave his lane and give it to either of the other heroes while this... He had a good start. That's really nice. He can hopefully hold his own against one of the side lanes right now, but they can't afford to let their other cores suffer this much. This Underlord is not gonna...
What? Human's dead?
...do anything for you.
It's their power shot set up. And like you said, they need to enable these outer lanes. I really feel like PA is the most important one they need to get out of that bot lane, because we just saw the setup, and you can say what you want about power shot. Yes, they nerfed it, but it's still an incredibly potent spell.
It's such a huge nuke. And the PA is just always going to be last hitting against power. And this is a lane swap even alliance.
I mean, why not?
Bring Mickey up top.
I can kind of understand why they want to do this, right? Ursa can't really get those kills because you've got the Nightmare and you've got the Leap Away, whereas Phantom Assassin is a lot more limited.
Yeah, and besides, this is again is an efficiency play, because Mickey can hold here alone, hopefully. Oh, well.
Speaking of which, hit up by the arrow and snare through. Power shot. Pikachu getting low. Gonna have to chase him down with the wind run. They'll turn on the Van Skull. The shackle shot doesn't land. The brain sap comes out. Mickey, a little bit of trouble. They jump for the Starstorm, but no. He'll stay alive with the stick. He'll look to move away. He can turn around the power shot. Pikachu's dead! And Van Skull, he might be in trouble too. There's an ensnare available. Tiger can use it. And Mickey's on his way across. Needs to be careful. The brain sap coming off cooldown. Needs one more hit. Does he want to go in? He wants to try and get this, but he can't. Mickey was being a little bit cocky there, but he won't pay a price. Or will he? Pikachu, no leaps available. And while that's happening, Elder Titan falls in the bot lane. And instantly, they just bring Van Skull down here again. This is a conundrum, though, because Ursa's got decent levels. I think this is the biggest issue, is that Bane, it feels like he's fallen behind in terms of XP. And that's the worst experience for a Bane. He's meant to be this lane bully that dominates the lane of phase.
Yeah. And he can't do any of that right now. At least King R got off to a bit of a start, and the PA has gotten some space. It's the switch of the Wind Ranger. But yeah, if you look at the net worths even now, like you shouldn't look at the net worth this early usually, but still.
It's not what we imagined, right? We expected the Ursa to maybe get, like, he should have been forced out a little bit. Lone Druid doing okay, but someone should have been matching up against him that mattered. And that's not to say Underlord can't do things, it's just he can't do the things you need. He pushes. That's about all you're going to get from him for a long time.
Yeah. So, if I'm double dimensional right now, I'm really, as I said, I would have tried to move anyone into that mid lane before the EXP disparity became too big, but by now the mid laners are both level 6 and Human is 5.
Van Skull's in trouble here. The Nightmare comes out, the kinetic field to hold him in place. He'll actually snatch it across, and that'll allow Boxy to finish up the kill, and Kuma needs to back off right now. This is problematic. Like we were talking about that Bane being underleveled, and like you said, they can't really change up the mid lane, so PA has to kind of sit here in a lane that she knows is going to be fed over to Alliance over time.
Yeah, they are locked into 3 losing lanes right now, which is the worst position you can find yourself. It means that after the laning stage is over, to start meeting up with cores together instead of just moving supports towards cores. And you need to hope that by bringing more cores than the other, you can force out some good engagements, because otherwise if you play like normally, then you're always going to get outclassed by the fact that their cores are just...
I'm not really seeing these recovery type heroes that can bounce back. Like typically you might see something like a Brewmaster we've seen in previous matches where they'll just rotate, find kills in another lane, and it helps even the game up for them. But the one that should be doing that is Mirana, I feel. But she's just staying here in this lane up against Mickey, and he's clearly winning it.
Well, she needs a 6 first. There's no doubt that she has some garments to hit first. But it's gonna be very rough even, and yeah, they're mating up
Fanscore
together now.
Boxy jumps in, needs to be careful here. He's held in place, rooted up. The Firestorm doing a lot of damage. Boxy trying to move away. The Earthshock's good. He'll be able to get out of range, but the dagger gets flown. They'll jump across. Kumin going in, needs to be careful. The clap comes out. The glimpse back just in time for the brain sap from Fanscore. He gets that kill with the Nightmare as well. They won't look for that, but they do get him. It's close, but in the end, no escape for this Ursa. Actually, he's diving here.
That isn't exactly what
Sania needs to be careful. Kinetic Field gets put down. Kumin had 6. He was feeling a little bit emboldened. Now he needs to be careful because guess who's showing up in the lane against Boxy? He wants hugs. Fanscore has no man to work with right now.
He wants that level 6 as well.
He needs that level 6. They're going to TP back to base by the looks of it. We'll just get back to farming. So a little bit of recovery. We were wondering if we were going to see a rotation like that. I felt like we saw a lot more value out of the Underlord than we were really expecting. Kind of because of the place they chose to fight.
Yeah, the Ursa was pretty far forward there. They were not expecting it.
Pikachu's... he's gone.
Very.
I kind of like what I'm seeing from Tiger here. Sometimes we see the folks out on, like, getting a point in mirror image, and then you max out either the Ensnare or the Riptide. But the extra time with that Ensnare ensured the kill. And mid lane, Koif is in a little bit of trouble here. Room in place. He might fall, actually. He's going to tick out. Firestorm does enough. I mean, we criticize this so heavily. We're like, Unlord, what does he really do? That's two big kills now.
This is what he needs to do, and he has been getting a little bit lucky. I guess it's also like a surprise factor, but even then, like, what's he gonna do now?
He's not super tanky yet. He's just kind of asserting aggression. Meanwhile, on the top, making a little bit of trouble. We'll look to wind run this off. There's 3 heroes here, but they can't get him. Actually going to bait him in. Needs to be careful. If that had been a crit, Mickey would have been in a lot of trouble. Do not tempt a Phantom Assassin, even one with no items.
But they're still connecting these cores to each other, which is really... like, they're realizing the trouble they're in. And
oh, Shackle Shot. It's good. Fanscore's gone. Arrow won't connect either. The Root will hold Mickey in place. Look to move away the wind run still. Kumin thinking about jumping in. Needs to be careful. Tiger getting low on HP. The Ensnare comes out. Will hold Pikachu in place. He's under the tower. He can't use the leap to get away. He'll finally throw it out. The tower's still chasing. He needs one more hit to finish him off. He'll stay alive. Actually, that's another interesting thing. Boxy coming up. We'll get onto it in a second. But Cheshire Cat's going to die. I was going to say, the interesting thing here is that Pikachu did pick up a bottle this game. Not a usual focus for the offlaner.
You see it on Clockwork sometimes, when you have a really big emphasis on grabbing your wings, and I guess that this is part of his, you know, recovery mechanism as well. And you saw him on top of the rune just before Mickey reached him. So, yeah, Double Dimension do know what to do in this situation, and I'm very impressed with how smoothly they've been doing it. So, both mid laners have left their lane now. Supports are getting their levels here.
Come on, power shot throwing the king out. Yeah, this is the target they definitely can't take out of that. They've got the raindrops, so they're wisened up to Mickey's sources. And now the root's coming out, Tiger in a little bit of trouble. Can't back away from this. Mickey cannot help out support. They might push on the mid lane. Meanwhile, Bane does get dropped in the bot lane. Instead, the mid's moving away from there. The Stomp does connect him to Mickey, though. He hasn't got the wind run available. The Elsewhere is going to come out, and it looks like he's going to pop. Kinga! Watch out, this guy is dangerous.
Costly.
It's going to get more costly. Insania. The crit comes out, and he just falls. And now they can take the tier 1 mid as well. The cost just keeps increasing by the moment. Koif is going to try and even up a little bit by taking the bot tower. But still, Alliance's early lead has suddenly just disappeared.
And you can see how they've really refused to do the thing that I've said that Double Dimension is doing with meeting up the cores together for brief moments. They have always had one core in every lane. And it's cost them this trade where, you know, both of the other heroes were busy in their own lanes. Koif pushing bot, Boxy getting the kill top, and Mickey just dies and they lose their mid tier 1. because they didn't have anyone else left to go there. Like, shit to do. Well, yeah, if you're too good for that, if you have shit to do that's not defending your mid tower, you don't have your priorities in order here. You're gonna give away more.
Especially when the Ursa's on your team.
Like, yeah, I'm hoping to see them connect up their cores now as well, because the laning stage is definitely
problematic.
Here
Mickey,
we get 3 different
Bean
positions.
It's not even a different position, it's the same position more or less. It was a tier 1 last time, tier 1 again. Now the bot lane, the Static Storm comes out. Crack taking a lot of damage. He won't be able to move away from this in one piece. He will fall. And King R, that long TP does not work out for him. So, 1 apiece, and in fairness, the Underlord is worth a lot of gold at this point. I feel like Alliance, to some extent, are okay with that, but they will be feeling like that shouldn't have happened in the first place. Mickey shouldn't have been in that position. Now, Pikachu around cut across. Boxy coming in. The arrow stun him up initially. Pikachu, though, he's got 1 leap. He needs to use it. The glimpse back perfectly timed, though. He'll walk straight into Tiger, but Tiger got the Riptide available. Nice Nightmare save from Vanscore. He'll go for the TP out. And Boxy, can he do enough damage? 1 more slap? No! He went for the max out on the Earth Shock instead, which means Overpower is still only level 1. He has got the Blink available. Doesn't want to go on a Pikachu, though, does he? He noticed him a little bit too late. The arrow's going to connect. Boxy in a little bit of trouble. Needs to back away here.
So much delay and evasion coming.
It feels like they're just being kited way too well. This is the biggest fear for an Ursa, but I don't want to say it's sloppy.
That Alliance didn't want to use the song because their comp is already down, but they could have really gotten a lot of value out. Yeah. Especially if, for example, Mickey had come to join that fight again instead of pushing out the mid wave, which is what he did instead.
You know, this guy is focused on it, okay? I like, maybe he's living in the past. He's dreaming of a world where his tier 1 still existed, okay? But in fairness, it is kind of still creating space. Koifa's farming up. He's almost got the Sacred Relic now. And
this is winning all 3 lanes, and it's weird to say that, right? The dangers of winning all 3 lanes. But you can't win all 3 lanes intentionally. If you win all 3 lanes, it's because your opponent fucked up, usually. And what that means is that if it happens, everyone is acting...
Oh, things going on top?
Space that's being created.
Okay, he's fine. Koifa, his bear might actually still die here. And score, he wants this... No, he gets it away! He says, thank you very much. The Nightmare buys enough time. It's just, clearly, you know, a little bit of miscommunication, misidentification. Maybe Vanscore thinks he's still on the dire side. Easily happens.
Anyway, what I was saying is that it's very hard to convince any one player to sacrifice themselves if they haven't had a bad lane.
Sure.
And you might even not be thinking about making that choice. Because you're just... Ooh.
Yep, that was a nice sleep arrow combo. But King R did claim the kill again. That's the consolation prize. They're not giving more gold to the PA. Not much, anyway. But I get what you mean. It's kind of this case of... It's overconfidence to an extent. You would come up with this scenario, you're like, okay, everything went well. What next? And you kind of lose sight. Like, you had a goal originally, and that was based on you losing a lane. And Cheshire Crap?
Yep.
We'll just get out. They actually don't have the disrupt here. There's no chance to glimpse up, but nope, Boxy just shreds through him with the enrage. That was, I mean, you'd think that despite what they had, you'd still get out, but...
But hey, two supports, 2 cores in 1 lane. Finally. It took a while.
They got there. Don't worry though, they've done the perfect thing. Now. Mickey can now stay in the lane, push. It's been his dream. I mean, he's slowly making his way towards the Roche that we'd like to see. The problem is, it's so scary to go into that pit. With the Mirana, with the Elder Titan, there's so many ways they can just melt through you. And speaking of Elder Titan, glimpse back. Guess who's waiting? Koifa wants to fight. Brings the bear across. King R's going to try and walk away. Is hidden under the ruse of night, thanks to the Moonlight Shadow. Nice shackle shot, though.
Right back into the sentry.
Well, who'll know about that sentry now? That's the most important lesson you can take away. The glimpse back again. Perfectly timed. Nice Nightmare, though. King R going to be forced to use the stomp. Will hit onto 2. The arrow followed up to Mickey. They use Earth Split as well. A lot of damage we've done here. The Fiend Script to ensure that Mickey cannot escape this in one piece. No, though. Vanscore gets interrupted. Has to move away. They will finally clean up Mickey, but they do lose the King R, and now lose Vanscore as well. There's a 2-for-1 trade, but you still get that kill on the Mickey.
That is still such a value trade. 2 of your supports for Mickey. And Alliance is still ways that Double Dimension can just dance around them. Like, they don't want to commit enough people. I'm hoping that, you know, and this is very psychological again, but I'm hoping that one of these actions is just gonna piss them off enough that they're gonna get their shit together.
This is, you know, people don't get it. This is true coach talk, right? It's like we think that coach talk is different from what you get in traditional sports. No, it's not. This is what a coach sounds like. Like, just come on, get your crap together, guys. What the hell's going on here?
Exactly. It's sometimes a team is just caught in a certain mood, and all you can hope is that the opponent does something that's strong enough to jog them out enough, but not strong enough that it's going to cost them the game.
I think there's like a mix here, right? So maybe there's a different style of coaching that comes from Loda. We've said already, in their ears, all they hear and whispered is push,
split,
push,
shut the lanes,
split, push.
buildings.
It's not really working out though. They've only taken a tier 1 bot. And is this where Boxy wants to go for a kill? It will. Jumps into Van Score. The Nightmare perfect time. The snares there as well. It'll come out and it'll kill off the Bane. He has to use the Enrage as well to ensure he doesn't take too much damage from the Firestorm. They want to hunt for more though. They're pinging it out. They force him back to base, they'll be happy. The Glimpse comes out and he's still going to TP out. The Static Storm won't help much. And without the Enrage, Boxy cannot do enough damage. The Stomp to ensure that is the case. But that space might now allow them to go for the Roche, considering Koifa just took the tier 1 mid.
Finally, it is time.
It's time to feel like a real team.
Yeah. Everyone, nice and together. Naga ult is Radiant primed. So...
He has an Invis rune as well. Look, it's Moonlight Shadow though. The arrow will not find anyone. Doesn't even hit the Roche. They're looking for more on the back foot though. They find PA. Nice shackle shot and they're going to get rid of Kumin now. Suddenly Double Dimension, they are bored. They don't want any part of this. Back to the Roche pit for the side of Alliance because now there's nothing to really stop them.
Boxy?
Boxy, come on, man. We just bigged you up. You got to get across there.
You can see the pings from Mickey, like, dude.
Like why you screw this small camp? Just go for this. The insignificant neutral creep versus the very good, not so neutral, very angry Roshan. I think I know which one you should be taking here. They could try and interrupt this with the stun, though. Sleep from King Arsh should be good. They want to commit. Actually, Stomp used outside the pit, so they might be able to go. They did sleep up Tiger. They'll hit him with the arrow as well. He might die off, but can they get the Roshan time? Boxy will finish it off, and now finally Tiger's going to fall. They get their hands on the Aegis. Now they want to get out. They are not willing to fight 4 versus 5, as Kuman was on his way back in.
That was very, very, very close.
It was kind of awkward, though, because Double Dimension... Here's the problem. You knew the Naga was going to song to reset anything you attempted. At the same time, you spent so much time on that Naga, you had nothing to deal with the fact that Ursa was still in the pit.
Well, you don't get to jump in before that, so they don't have a choice there. They need to get through the Naga. It's like, you know, you gotta get through the henchmen before you go to the ball, and they couldn't manage to output enough damage in time.
As a result, they get their hands on the Aegis, and now Alliance should look to take control of the map. Meanwhile, on top, Zania, this is Static Storm, Kinetic Field. Kuman, he might get the kill, but he's going to pay with his life. Nice TP rotation quickly in. Find that pick off, and I mean, Kuman, we're worried when we see PAs. This is the type of hero that can get out of control, but considering in the last few minutes he spent about half the time dead, I don't think he's much of concern right now, especially with that Battle Fury build.
Sorry, I had to take a nice little drink of water here.
It's all good. Krat, not so good for him. We might be forced to use the teleport. Oh, the song comes out from Tiger. Gets hit by the arrow at the same time. This might allow him to actually get away. It's going to be a close call. I don't think Tiger's going to be so lucky. He does at least get Mickey out. That's 4 heroes rotated for just that kill. And meanwhile, in the top lane, Koifa will take a tier 1. So a worthwhile trade for Alliance there. I got to actually give it to Tiger. That was perfect. The timing on getting that song out. You see that arrow, you know you can't dodge it.
He was staring his fate right in the face. He did what he had to.
Kind of like someone just being a landmine. Just like, go. Live on without me. So we just need him.
On the grenade.
We just need him to start singing John Denver. Have that Kingsman moment.
So, looking at the vision here, it's... You can see with for Double Dimension, they actually have the side room, which is something that's worth it usually only to spot people moving into your jungle. But when you have a Mirana and you don't have to use a smoke to def your jungle, it actually becomes a lot more valuable. So you can use that ward to scout whether or not it's worth it to pop your ult, go in there and fight. And Alliance are playing from Dire again, and they seem to be one of the few teams that I've seen that actually consistently decide to trade the other way around on Dire, which is to go in through the top lane instead of trading jungle. So their only vision, their only offensive vision right now is on that top bounty rune spot.
Easy breezy.
True. So it's all about. I feel like right now for Lance, it's about quick fist movements. Despite the fact they give the Aegis across the boxy, of course, it's all about just enabling the lone druid because that's your win condition right now.
Yes, and you basically use boxy just as a how do you?
It's like a
English
buffer.
Is failing here.
It's kind of like he's a buffer. He's a bridge
what do you
between
use
the
to
early.
break open doors with a tire?
I mean, you could use many things. You could use someone's face. You could use a battering ram.
Like what Gordon Freeman has. It's a tire iron?
Oh, a crowbar. You want a crowbar?
A crowbar. Yeah, a crowbar. He's a crowbar. You jam him in there. He gives things a huge swing, and then stuff breaks. And then after that, you go in with the rest. So he's their enforcer right now. He's gonna make a mess, and then Quakefa either uses that space to push somewhere else, or Mickey uses that space to, win the fight by outputting a lot of damage from a distance.
The boxy breaks everything, and then Quakefa, he's kind of like the Consuelo. He comes up and he cleans everything up.
Something like that.
Beautiful. And then Mickey is just pushing lanes. He's been trying. It's not worked out too well half the time. But maybe we're moving past that point. He's got his blink. He's got his maelstrom. He can now look to individually snipe out people.
Yeah, and it also depends on like the mirror image, the low mirror image Taiga is a problem here because normally if you get more mirror images, the Naga by now can really shove lanes without showing already. But because of that really in-your-face fighting build he's been going for, you can't really do that, and you need to have Mickey on the lane still if you want to keep all of them out. So there's always a little reasons like that why he's been shoving the lanes and showing all the time. See, they want to have the lanes out more than they want to have him not die. So he shoves and he dies. He has to.
In fairness, he's still doing pretty well. 6-3-6 right now. So despite those deaths, he is still an integral part of this kind of boxy experience we're talking about, who, by the way, 9-1-2 right now. Is definitely being a very effective crowbar, refusing to ever break. I feel like as this game goes on, the supports become even more relevant. Because you think about what Alliance's supports do versus Double Dimensions. Naga's very hard to hit once she gets that song going. Like, how do you stop that? BKBs? Maybe, but not everyone's going to have those. And Disruptor, I always define him as I pressed all the buttons straight away and died. I don't care, right? It's like you walk in, you static storm, you kinetic field, you flop to the ground, and then you, your last words whisper, I done my part. And it's true. Like, if you live longer, great. Glimpse people back, find additional kills. But it's almost like an Undying, right? It just reminds, because Undying's the go-to now, right? It's like, I walk in, I drop Tombstone, I die, another Tombstone appears. Disruptor's like that as well. It's like, Static Storm, I've silenced you. Great, I've done my part. Someone kill that guy.
I mean, Glimpse is the guaranteed bonus skill, you know? You do actually want to live on Disruptor, so I don't think that's an entirely fair point.
Oh no, I appreciate, like, you can do more, but, like, in terms of the impact, compare that to the Bane and the Elder Titan. They need time to set up, they need time to commit and get that impact, especially Bane. Like, you Nightmare, great, but it's all about the Fiend's Grip.
Bane is one of those heroes that needs to come in from the side, otherwise, like, range is... get anything done. You can't walk in, just face forward. But I actually expect the Elder Titan to really start showing his power.
Shack on the Pikachu, he's gone. Can't leap out, the kinetic field holds him in place, and we were just saying that Blink Maelstrom and what Mickey can do with it. I can tell you what he can do. He can kill the Mirana, which right now is still Double Dimensions kind of buffer. It's the damage. The PA is just too unreliable at this point.
This is a fun little ward that Insania just dropped as well. Like, normally you'll see people push one wave and then move through this open area to camps on the side, and you're just perfectly watching all of that. So it's a real, like a typical ward for this phase of the game when the tier 1 tower.
Meanwhile, Vanscore just disappears.
Oh.
He was trying to get some wards out of his own, and he won't be lucky. He won't be lucky. He won't get him down at all. Meanwhile, on the top, Ishkrat is forced to just TP out, and they are going full defensive. They're like, retreat to the high ground, hide in your base. Pikachu maybe tries for an arrow. Mickey dodges that out though. And you need to be careful on Pikachu. You do not want to repeat of your last experience in the Shackle Shot. Here it comes. Power Shot through, doing a lot of damage. Not enough to finish off. He's still got 3 leaps available. Using the Wind Run. No, the Static Storm from Insania too late. And now he's held in place. He'll send Cheshire back with the Glimpse though. Pikachu, Moonlight Shadow's been used. They're bringing in more. Phantom Assassin wants some kills. The spam comes out. Insania is proud of himself. Will you be proud for long though? Because they are hunting. Kuman tries to jump in. Shackle Shot from Mickey is good. Trying to run away. They'll at least find the kill on Insania. They won't be able to find additional though. Mickey should make it out here.
Yeah, like that glimpse was always going to happen, but it's a bit of a shame that he tried for the... get too much out of that. Just glimpsing back the Underlord would have been enough. And in the meanwhile, there's a lot of tower damage. Well, not quite a lot of tower damage, but a lot of pressure on mid and top lane again. Hey.
And look at Mickey. He just goes back to pushing bot. They're just doing this constantly. It's just back and forth. You might as well stick on the Benny Hills theme tune at this point, because Double Dimension are just running around all the time. Bad score. It's gone again. He had bad experience with that bear, and which one actually? Both of these bears are horrifying for him.
Yeah, ward is still there, guys.
Yep, they didn't get it.
And they have crept even further forward on that top lane now. You can really see where they're...
Look at this again, though. The pings just tell it all. Oh, wait, they're in this lane. Oh, wait, they're in this lane. Mickey just took the bot tower, and Boxy's prepping the mid. It's just... This is getting absurd. Kuman still needs to farm. He went for that Battle Fury build. Now the snare coming out. They haven't got the Static Storm for 5 seconds. The jump in. Boxy, you'll get rid of him. The Enrage ensures that Phantom Assassin just disappears. Not just from the map, but from the game. Boxy, this should be the tier 2 now. While Kuiper just takes the top tier 2 as well. Like, they're not feeling pressured to really stack as 5 either.
They're getting choked at really hard right now. And just this alternating pressure. Alliance always anticipating, moving back when they think they can't fight, and then punishing where they think. This is very disciplined for is like, I'm gonna start sounding like a broken record here, but this is what I expected them to do game 1.
This is what I wanted from. It's like they're your new boys. It's
I love this style of play. This is very, very well controlled, very thought out, and very hard to play against, because if you're coordinating your team, you have to answer several questions at once all the time, because there's always things going on at least 2 parts of the map at all times. And if you're just shot calling your way through that, you're going to be in trouble. You need to already be ready. You need to have trained for situations like this so that people know what to do, because you can't do this shot by shot. You're just going to go completely crazy.
And yeah, it's
a
kind
very
of
powerful part of this pressuring lineup.
It's kind of like what we see. It's simply like watching in a pub game people try and chase after a tinker with no vision, nothing to anticipate him. It's just you're going to watch them run up and down the map, never finding anything, and that's exactly what's been happening here.
Yeah, but that also obviously depends on the tinker needs to be doing the right thing as well. Because if the tinker stays too long, they are going to catch him. And the same goes for Alliance here. They have been playing it looks very robust like this, but it's actually kind of delicate. If Koitva, who has been camping around this top lane all the time, makes the wrong move, he is actually pretty far up and in a delicate position.
Pikachu?
Instead...
Oh no, they're going to glimpse him away. They won't be able to get that Static Storm back. He's trying to get across the Pikachu. No, perfectly timed! Cheshire Cat! This guy's a goddamn hero. He gets Pikachu out alive, and that was so much closer than they maybe originally intended.
And now they actually get a kill on the bear here?
They can't chase it. They're paranoid. They don't know where Roshan is right now.
Scared,
and look at Boxy. Things come out. There's about Vanscore, the Nightmare being used, but Tiger's here as well. Throughout the ensnare, and all you got left is the Fiend script. Do you really want to use it? Yes, you do. So the Nightmare gets pulled across. They bait them in. Tiger hit by the arrow. The Fiend script still running. Now Boxy needs to run away and leave Tiger behind. They're chasing for more. They want Boxy as well. He's still got the Enrage.
Ooh.
Could he turn around? No, he can't. They guessed wrong. They need to go back and deal with that creep wave. And oh my god, that bait out from Vanscore there.
That was very good and kind of cocky from Tiger there. Just hit the Bane, wait until your Ursa's back up, but he's like, no, dude, Ursa can kill him faster. Well, yeah, but you're forgetting that this guy can disable the both of you.
Thinking of the Bane, gets the Nightmare out on the Bear, and it looks like they will finally make Lone Druid pay a price. There's a tear in his eye as his child falls. But he's got another one, it's okay, they're replaceable. 2 for 1 on the Walmart's Sunday deals.
You just breed more bears, right? I don't know
Breed
where to
them.
get them.
He just has a little bear pen on the side. Make me new children to send to war.
This is getting very dark all of a sudden.
There's just bear mothers there like, please bring my son back.
Well, actually, if you hear Ursa talk about dead mothers, I think the bear mothers are pretty, yeah, make my child a hero.
There you go. So Us is just a walking mascot for Lone Druid's recruitment campaign. We've created a new law here.
We should get Slacks on the line.
He'd jump in. He'd be up for this. I believe this is where Boxy just walked into the Roche pit. He's found a DD. And this is one of the most controversial things at the moment. DD's in front of the Roche pits. Tiger, this might be another arrow. No, the Nightmare gets pulled away. Nicely done by Insane. The BKB comes in. Mickey jumping right in here. The song being used by Tiger. They got a sensitive reveal. Can they get across? Boxy's on the way, and so is Quaver. They should go for fan score first. Nightmare comes out. He'll die afterwards. The glimpse used, but it won't matter. BKB from Pikachu. Static Storm's not going to affect them. The sleep is good, and the Earth Splitter crew should kill off Naga. No! They get Tiger out. Forced up away. Boxy is going to be so lucky. The Enrage coming out just in time. He needs to be careful. They jump in. Pikachu can go deep. He's going to die. They'll be able to find more, though. Kuman will at least pick him off. But Quaver's so damn tanky. Instead on the spot, Kuman will die. Cheshire Cat, last man standing, will go for the TP out, but he won't make it. The glimpse back, hold him in place. They'll clean him up. It's a team wipe. As Quaver gets a triple kill, he'll run across to the mid lane because now it's time to hit buildings.
Oh,
And they have no buybacks.
So close. I saw Mickey standing still on the outskirts of that fight for so long that I thought he disconnected, but he wasn't sure if his teammates would live, so he was waiting to reveal himself. He was thinking, and then finally, yes, alright, we're gonna make it. I'm gonna jump in. And then they just turned around, but that was really very scary. That's the kind of fight where an Elder Titan just shows that the later it goes, the more scary these choke point fights get. And that was very close for Lions.
That was horrifying to think about. Like, actually, the Elder Titan, he couldn't keep the Astral out, right? So the Earth Split didn't do much damage. If you still have that Astral out, I think we're looking at a different fight because suddenly the Naga dies too fast. You're going to lose the Disruptor probably as well. And, I mean, you threw everything on that Ursa. You knew they wanted a Roche, so you commit everything to just stop that in the future. And the outcome is you lose your entire mid lane.
And that's going to make future Roche defenses even harder. And they're still checking it. They know. They know the Boxy just wants to go straight back in.
It's kind of awkward because now that gold lead is up to 18,000 in favor of Lions. Approaching this Roche, but I mean, we saw the Phantom Assassin. You got that one kill, but then immediately you hold in place. You can't do anything additional. He's going for the BKB. He's getting pretty close. But will it be enough? Tackle shot won't land onto the Mirana in the mid lane. He did just move away quickly with the leaps.
I think that this is the time to say, screw the buybacks. We need all of our items. Because otherwise we're just not going to make it next fight.
Speaking of Naga, she almost got the ensnare there on King R.
They have no way to reach the Roche pit either, so if they want to fight at the Roche, and I do think they should, then the buybacks don't matter. Because they can't buy back and go back in there.
But look at these wards. There's no way they can get close without being seen now. They need to smoke right at this instant. And they've got one available. King Art's going to have it in 3 seconds, but you need to be quick here. This has already got this down to half HP. If you do not respond right now, Nightmare coming out into Mickey.
Ignore the creeps.
Nice pull off with the illusion, though. Mickey's going to be fine. They wish the Moonlight Shadow. They need to get him right now. But Alliance knows what's up. Look at this move by Insania. It's right around the back. If they fall for this and go in the pit. Oh, Song coming up for Tiger. He'll reveal them all. They're a little bit split, but who do they go after? It's probably going to be Kuman, but he's got the BKB is the problem. They're hit by the Nightmare. Now they're coming out, but it won't matter too much. Cheshire Cat, he'll still die after the use of the Beast Grip, not actually holding the Boxy enough, and Bane will die on the back foot. And Kuman, you might have picked off that Naga, but she's already had her effect. Moving on to Mickey, trying to kill him off here. He'll have the Wind Run available in a few seconds. The Shackle Shot! It's so good. Kuman out of place. King Art's going to fall next. It's a complete disaster for the side of Double Dimension. Cheshire Cat will fall as well. And Pikachu, he makes it back to his base, but he makes it back alone. And they go for the tier 4s. They want this game done. Alliance, they smell victory. It's at their fingertips. The buyback out.
GG.
I mean, Pikachu, that's the worst thing. He's got the buyback, but he's the one that lives.
He should have really sacrificed harder there. Like, Kuman has the BKB, but he's still so vulnerable to Dezursa with the MKB. So goes on the Naga.
And Skull might be going bye-bye here. Oh, that sleep.
That's so close.
Boxy. It doesn't matter though, they're so focused on him. Look at the towers. Kuiper just hits buildings. Boxy with the enrage just in time. Got the BKB in 5 seconds. They also try and cut it around, and the Nightmare coming out. They need to follow stuff right now. 4 stuff away. They'll keep him alive, but Kuiper, he just goes for the throne. They maybe kill the bear, but it won't be enough. The fear to get them away. They get in the field to hold King Arm place. He'll die. They'll get the game. GG called. Alliance. They take it 2-1 in the end. And what a victory for them. Twice. Double no engine getting caught out and wiped there. And it just felt like it was slipping further away. That fight at the Roach Pit, their last hurrah to try and turn it around.
A very convincing performance from Alliance here. I'm very satisfied with the transformation that this team has gone through since picking up. You can really see the difference. Sets the tempo for the team. If you give him space, he is going to create more space and turn up at all the right moments or all the wrong moments if you're his opponent. And I think they've really shown here that these players do have the potential to actually make something great happen. So yeah, I'm impressed. It's a shame for Double Dimension. I hope to see more Kuman because he has been such a standout player for me in CIS, but he just didn't get any space here at all.
Well, the good news is that we should. We'll see more of them. Actually, the Double Dimension will be back playing on the 6th, and your old boys Vega, they're actually going to be back then as well, as that'll be the loser matches coming up.
Oh, Vega's going to play Double Dimension?
On the 6th of July. Not today.
I got to see that.
I mean, today we got Wind and Rain versus Alliance up next. Now,
nice.
There's going to be another switch. It's been musical chairs for my cast today. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to have you in, Kips. But Lizard, he kind of messaged me. He said, hey, she's taking my job, and if you do this, I'm going to release all those sorted photos. And you know what? I got a career to think about. I don't want to be thrown under the bus here. They could, if he exposes those, I'm in a lot of trouble.
It's okay. I understand. I'll step aside for now, but
she'll be back.
Oh yes, I'll always be back. You don't get rid of me that easy. Just have to get some pictures on my own, I guess.
I'm gonna stay above that. I'm gonna casually whistle. But thank you guys. That's not it for today, though. We have got another series. I believe it's 20 minutes time until it begins. So stay tuned for that when we'll be back with Alliance versus Wind and Rain. See you then.